by the way, we have David Crystal on the line, who has been heading up a recall effort in Miami for Mayor Alvarez. How are you, David?
Hi, Joyce. Correction, Miami Beach. I'm running for mayor of Miami Beach, and in that context, we're supporting the recall of Alvarez.
Okay, so you're running for mayor of Miami Beach, but you want to recall the mayor of Dade County.
Of the county. That's
all right. And how's it going? I mean, this election results are starting to come in, I guess, from the early voting.
I'll pretty much put my hat in the ring and say he's out. I mean, my gut feeling based on all the anecdotal evidence I have is that he's pretty much gone. Don't be surprised if at least 60% of the voters recall him.
Really? Because that's a pretty substantial number. I've been looking at some of the ads on both sides of the issue, and he's coming out strong with an ad campaign now that might resonate with some voters.
Well, what I tell people is that my opponent, Matty Bauer, is kind of like Alvarez to Kenya. She's like a miniature version of him in that both these individuals have no qualms using their connections with unions to try to thwart the democratic process. But that's not going to work. There's just too much bad press that Alvarez has gotten vis-a-vis his calling certain unions and using them during work hours that we, the taxpayer, are paying for to work for him at full stations. I'm not sure if that's technically illegal, though it should be, but it's certainly unethical, and the people are certainly cognizant of these things, and they're going to vote accordingly.
So the people are frustrated, and what do you see happening, you know, in terms of voter turnout? Because this is an odd time for an election anyway.
I mean, typically in a recall election, if it's not consistent with other elections, it will be a low turnout. I don't see turnout to be an issue. If it's low turnout, not enough people care, and those who are fed up are going to be hundreds of people who vote. If there's a high turnout, this means more and more people are fed up and more people are voting. But
so either way, it's a win. Either way, it's a win. I highly doubt there's any chance he's going to survive this unscathed, yeah. So now what happens in Miami Beach? Who are you running against?
I'm running against the current mayor, Matty Herrera Bauer. Depending on her audience, she's either Matty Bauer, Matty Herrera, or Matty Herrera Bauer.
It's convenient. I like that.
Say it again?
It's convenient. I have the same thing. I can be, you know, Joyce Kaufman, or Joyce Kaufman, or Joyce Laureano, depending on the audience.
Exactly, and she plays her audiences very well. She's a very seasoned politician. Good woman. She's good-natured, but completely incompetent, utterly uneducated, has no background in finance or economics whatsoever, and is then wonder the city of Miami Beach is going bankrupt. We're literally and figuratively on fire. After the Chabad house was subject to arson near Pine Street Drive about 3 years ago, she got on the air and said, "Oh, how can this happen in Miami Beach? This will never happen again." 4 blocks just south of that, we have 3 major arsons, all beautiful Art Deco buildings. So we're up in flames. She never put cops on the street like I called upon her to do so 3 years ago. Still, we have no cops on the street. Our cops are the most highly paid cops in the state of Florida. You would think they would serve us effectively. It is a complete lack. There's a complete lack of accountability and reciprocity here in Miami Beach. We have probably the highest paid, on average, the highest paid public employees in the state of Florida, and we get mediocre service at best. We have an unemployment rate of 14%. Doctors and lawyers are barely making $50,000, $60,000 a year in other expenses. Our average public employee who doesn't have even half that level of education is making $70,000 a year. Half of our cops are making $100,000 or more. The whole system is unsustainable. The whole city is backwards. We're going bankrupt big time.
And of course, you know, the question is, can you rely on the people who caused the mess to fix the mess? Probably not.
No, it's not.
So what do you bring to the table? What's your expertise? Why should people vote for you, support you?
Well, unlike my opponent, I do have an extensive education. My opponent did not spend a day in college, which is fine if you're a Bill Gates and you're creating businesses and creating jobs. But she never created a business nor created a job in her life. She's a retired dental assistant. She is a sweet, cuddly grandma persona, and everybody, you know, has affection for her because she's an affectionate woman. But being a good person does not make you a great mayor by any stretch of the imagination. She's a failed mayor, and her policies have failed us miserably. I have an Ivy League degree in economics. I have an MBA in finance. I'm a former Wall Street analyst. Never corrupted anybody, never been corrupted by anybody. And certainly I have the ethics not to ostensibly extort money from the New World Symphony or extort tickets from the New World Symphony in exchange for a $50 million 0% interest loan, as apparently was reported by the Miami Herald recently. So she's around an administration that's completely unaccountable, lacks ethics, lacks expertise in the issues that are most germane to the current crisis. Specifically, I'm referring to financial and economic expertise. And we frankly have no direction. We have no vision, no strategic plan for the future. And if you go to my website, crystalformayor.com, you'll see a very well-researched, well-thought-out, well-planned vision for our future.
And, what kind of support are you receiving? I mean, are you out there with volunteers? What kind of campaign are you running? Because in this day and age, this whole new way of campaigning through websites like you just gave out amazes me. I mean, you can win elections and nobody's ever seen you.
And that's what we intend to do. There's no secret. Much like Alvarez, my opponent is going to be endorsed and financed to the tilt by the unions. I anticipate she'll raise between $100,000 and $300,000, most of that from the unions. And the way this is shaping out, this is basically a David versus Goliath story. It's the people versus the unions. I have plenty of people supporting me every day. I knock on doors. I speak to businessmen and women going out of business, practically buying me every day. They don't have the money whereby I could raise $100,000, but you know what? I don't need their money. I need their vote. So all the money in the world, all the union money, whatever other contacts she has, that cannot buy out the truth. That cannot overwhelm the voice of the people. So she's going to raise $200,000. I'm going to raise 200 volunteers, and we're going to take our little army, and we're going to knock at every single door in Miami Beach. We're going to speak the truth, and we're going to be elected on the basis of the truth.
I certainly wish you luck. My attitude after the last 4 elections is that this is the first time ever that grassroots organizations have been able to move voters out of their comfort zone and into the polls. But even the most charismatic of candidates, in the final analysis, has got to raise money and got to answer the ads. And Miami-Dade, like Dade-Broward, markets are expensive to buy in. So, I would say to people who are listening, if you like what you hear, don't accept the fact that an individual cannot outraise someone who's got the support of PACs and unions. We saw it in Congressional District 22, where Alan West raised more money than the incumbent, who was in bed with every major donor in the. It can be done, but it means that you have to get up off $5 and you have to get up off $10. Can they donate at your website?
Absolutely. Go to crystalformayor.com. Click on Donate Now. And self-explanatory.
Absolutely, and $100,000, $200,000, a piece of cake for us activists. I mean, we're now used to being in the business of raising millions of dollars, and it's done one person at a time, and that's how you're going to get it done. I just think that the city of Miami needs a whole new commission and a whole new mayor, because it's a disaster. You have a financial mess down there, and just unethical things that go on a daily basis, and a population that needs to be better served. So, I wish you luck, and anytime I can be of help, you just reach out.
Oh, thank you so much, Joyce. I thank your audience.
All right, appreciate it.